add a clock to the bond issue.
6:30.
Okay, we're good.
Good evening. I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order the Guthrie Public Schools Board of Education for Monday, July 10th, 2023. Would you please call the roll?
Salee.
Here.
Davis. Here. Smedley. Here. Gerard.
Here.
Schroeder.
Here.
Pearson. Here. Flagg.
Here.
Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As we begin this meeting this evening, we'll pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. All right. Item 6 is comments to the board by citizens.
We have none registered.
Okay. By board members. We'll move right to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Summer project update. The restroom renovation project at the high school is now with the final 2 sets of student restrooms. We've got punch list items on the remaining on the other restrooms in the high school and also on the junior high project that we're working on with our contractor. Oklahoma Natural Gas will begin the Cotterell gas line relocation. We're hopeful for next week. They have been delayed a little bit because of the rain with their previously scheduled projects. But we have given them a goal of completing that movement of that gas line of August 1st so that we have plenty of time to have the building ready to start school. Online and student enrollment began today. The enrollments, the information's on the website. It was, I went through the parent portal, enrolled my 2 kids just like any other parent. It took me about 15 minutes for both kids together. One of the good things about it, and we knew that this was going to be a benefit, is it was a little bit painful last year because we had to input all of the information. Now, most of that information simply rolls up, and so you don't have to re-input it other than your residency verification and if there are certain forms that you need to complete based on certain situations with your household. Went very smooth. I've seen some people online, and it's all been positive as well on social media and things like that. So glad that we have that behind us. And I don't know, Dee, do you have any idea how many we enrolled today?
I did not.
Okay. Summer meals have concluded. We served 775 for breakfast and 3,864 for lunch. That was Monday through Thursday in the month of June. And so we're excited about those kids that we were able to serve there. And then a reminder to the board members that the OSSBA COSA conference is not far away, August 24th through the 27th. And if you want to get registered, please visit with Samantha. I know we got some updates from about CEUs for most, I think everyone except for one today. We're trying to track those down, and Samantha will be getting with you if there are specific needs. So that's my report.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Simpson. Agenda item number 8 is the approval of the consent agenda.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion on that? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 9 is approval of minutes of the special meeting held on June 26, 2023.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the special meeting held on June 26, 2023.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the special meeting, the minutes of the special meeting held on June 26, 2023. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Abstain.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
6 ayes and 1 abstention.
Motion passes. Item 10 on our business agenda this evening is the recommendation, consideration, and action to approve Ms. Carmen Walters as the authorized official for GPS to sign for any federal claims for reimbursement from the State Department of Education.
This is an item that, along with the next one, that the board is required by law to ratify annually for both Ms. Walters and for Ms. Young. Recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve Ms. Carmen Walters as the authorized official for GPS to sign any federal claims for reimbursement from the State Department of Education.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve Ms. Carmen Walters as the authorized official for GPS to sign any federal claims for reimbursement from the State Department of Education. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10B is the recommendation, consideration, and action to approve Ms. Angie Young as the authorized official for GPS to sign any special education reimbursement claims from the State Department of Education for projects 613, 615, 621, 623, 625, 628, 641, 642, and 643.
Again, another item that's required by law that the board take action on this annually. Recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve Ms. Angie Young as the authorized official for GPS to sign any special education reimbursement claims from the State Department of Education for projects 613, 615, 621, 623, 625, 628, 641, 642, and 643.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve Angie Young as the authorized official for GPS to sign any special education reimbursement claims from the State Department of Education for project 613, 615, 621, 623, 625, 628, 641, 642, and 643. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10C is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Logan County for school resource officer provided by Logan County Sheriff's Office for 2023-2024.
This is the SRO that is at Charter Oak. It went up slightly. I think it was maybe a couple $1,000s. Can't remember offhand, but they cited the increasing costs of everything, and so well within our budgeted amount, and would recommend approval. And with the contract that's in your packet, we will tailor that with the dates that correspond with the school calendar.
Mr. President, I move we approve the agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Logan County for the school resource officer provided by the Logan County Sheriff's Office for 2023-2024.
Second.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second to approve the agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Logan County for school resource officer provided by the Logan County Sheriff's Office for 2023-2024. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10D is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon memorandum of understanding between Meridian Technology Center and Guthrie Public Schools for supplemental funding for Guthrie Middle School Gateway to Technology programs for 8th grade students for 2023-2024.
We've had this program at the junior high for a number of years, and Meridian pays for $50,000 toward this program. It's been very successful, very popular with our students, and we're required by agreement to ratify this annually. Recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between Meridian Technology Center and Guthrie Public Schools for supplemental funding for Guthrie Middle School Gateway to technology programs for 8th grade students for 2023 to 2024.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the memorandum of understanding between Meridian Technology Center and Guthrie Public Schools for supplemental funding for Guthrie Middle School Gateway to Technology Programs for 8th grade students for 2023-2024. Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Plack.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10E is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon the loan agreement with Child Nutrition Fund for 2023-2024.
We bring this to you every year at this board meeting so that the Child Nutrition Program has the ability to have startup funds if needed that can be loaned out of the general fund until their revenue gets to a point that they can pay those back, and would recommend approval.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve the loan agreement with Child Nutrition Fund for 2023 and 2024.
Second.
Motion is made to approve action upon the loan agreement with the Child Nutrition Fund for 2023-2024. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Plack.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10F is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon agreement with Imperial Vending for snack vending for 2023-2024.
This is a 5-year agreement that we are required to ratify annually with Imperial Vending, and this is year 5 of the agreement. Would recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the agreement with Imperial Vending for snack vending for 2023-2024.
Second.
Motion is made to approve the agreement with Imperial Vending for snack vending for 2023-2024. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Plack.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10G is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon agreement with IXL Learning for the 2023-2024 school year.
This software that we use at the junior high is for math, English language arts, and science. It allows us to tailor the learning toward students that are deficient in those areas, and we've used it for a number of years, paid for out of title funds, increase of a little over $1,000 from the previous year, and would recommend approval. Questions about that, Ms. Walters is available.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve the agreement with IXL Learning for the 2023 and 2024 school year.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the agreement with IXL Learning for the 2023-2024 school year. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Plack.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10H is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon agreement with EduSkills for 2023-2024 school year.
EduSkills is the program that we use to identify and help us track our EL students, and we all know that population with our district is growing. Sometimes it seems like almost exponentially. There's a slight increase of $660 in this program, but the interesting thing about this is by us identifying the students and with our growing numbers, the state aid for these students more than pays for this software. So recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move we approve the agreement with EduSkills for 2023-2024 school year.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the agreement with EduSkills for 2023-2024 school year. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10I is the recommendation, consideration, and action to approve prime contract change order number 005 for Lambert Construction Company.
This change order that we have is some of the walls between the restrooms of both the east restrooms and the ones by the cafeteria were too narrow for the chase to actually get in there, so we had to move the walls. And it's the same old thing of renovation and not knowing what's behind the wall when you get in there. I think this is the last change order for the high school, but I wouldn't stake my life on it. Recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the prime contract change order number 005 for Lambert Construction Company.
Second. There's been a motion and a second to approve prime contract change order 005 for Lambert Construction Company. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 10J.
Go ahead and read it, no.
Okay. Recommendation, consideration, and action upon approval of contract with Crossland Construction for construction management services.
I would ask the board to take no action on this tonight. We are still trying to finalize the contract, and it came from our attorneys to Crossland late last week, and it's the same old thing in the summertime where people are on vacation and things like that, and trying to synchronize all that kind of slows things down. But I think we will have this, I think we'll have an agreement fairly soon, because I don't think there's anything that was really a sticking point in my conversation with Mr. Stoops from Crossland. But what I did get from him also is that they're going to go ahead and begin pre-construction work without the contract, because they feel like it's close enough to, we're close enough on the fine print of all of it with our attorneys and their attorneys that they can go ahead and do that. So it's not slowing us down, and again, we've got to deal with the gas line first anyway. So recommend that we don't take any action, and if it necessitates to keep that moving, a special board meeting, I'll be reaching out to you to try and organize one to get that approved. Now the fun stuff.
Item 10K is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon activity fund handbook for 2023-2024.
Okay, on this, on the activity fund handbook, on page 124 of your packet, or page 9 of the handbook, I would recommend an additional change, and that is to strike Mr. Ogle and add Mr. Hancock to that statement. And then on page 133, which is page 18 in the handbook, I would ask that we also strike Anita Paul and her contact information, and insert Dr. Chappell and her contact information at this time. The rest of this handbook on the red line as presented. Recommend approval of it.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we approve the Activity Fund Handbook for 2023-2024 with the changes as stated by Dr. Simpson on page 124 and 133.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the changes to the activity handbook for 2023-2024 with additional corrections on page 124 and 133. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10L is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon Guthrie Upper Elementary Student Handbook for 2023-2024.
I would recommend that the board approve the changes as presented in this handbook.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the Guthrie Upper Elementary Student Handbook for 2023-2024.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the Guthrie Upper Elementary Student Handbook for 2023-2024. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10M is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon the Junior High Student Handbook for 2023-2024.
I would recommend that the handbook be approved as presented with one additional change that I'm almost to. On page 219, under asbestos management plan, strike Jerry Gamble and insert Cody Thompson. Not sure how we've missed that over the years, but that was a great catch by our board president, and he now will be joining me when we consider policies.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the junior high school student handbook for 2023-2024 with the change on page 219, removing Jerry Gamble and adding Cody Thompson.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the Junior High Student Handbook for 2023-2024 with the additional correction on page 219, removing Jerry Gamble as listed and adding Cody Thompson. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10N is the recommendation, consideration upon favor alternative school student handbook for 2023-2024.
I would recommend that the handbook is approved as presented with the changes noted on pages 222 through 250 of the board packet.
Mr. President, I move we approve the Favor Alternatives School Student Handbook with the changes as presented.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the Favor Alternatives School Student Handbook for 2023-2024. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10O is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon Guthrie High School Student Handbook for 2023-2024.
I would recommend that the handbook be approved as presented. That's on pages 251 through 283 of your board packet.
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve the Guthrie High School Student Handbook for 2023-2024.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the Guthrie High School Student Handbook for 2022-2023, or 2023-2024, excuse me. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10P is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon Guthrie High School Course Description Handbook for 2023-2024.
I would recommend that the board approve the course handbook as presented in the board packet on pages 284 through 340.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the Guthrie High School Course Description Handbook for 2023-2024.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the Guthrie High School Course Description Handbook for 2023-2024. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Celine,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
Clag,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10Q is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon the school bus riders handbook for 2023-2024.
I would recommend that the board approve
Why does it keep doing that?
the handbook, the school bus rider handbook as presented with one additional change, and that's on page 342 of your board packet or page 2 of the bus rider handbook to correct the spelling of approach in the last bullet point on that page.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the school bus riders handbook for 2023-2024 with additional change of the spelling of approach on 342.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the school bus riders handbook for 2023-2024 with a correction on page 342 with the spelling of the word approach. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Celine,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
Clag,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 10R is the recommendation, consideration, and action upon Transportation Department Employee Policy and Procedure Handbook for 2023-2024.
I would recommend that the board approve the Transportation Department Employee Policy and Procedure Handbook as presented on pages 352 through 376 of the board packet.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Transportation Department Employees Policy and Procedure Handbook for 2023-24 as presented.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the Transportation Department Employee Policy and Procedure Handbook for 2023-2024. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Celine,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
Clag,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 11 is the proposed executive session for the purpose of discussing employment of personnel, FMLA request, resignation, separation from employment, and transfer of position request, all set out on the personnel reports, and teacher negotiations for 2023-2024, disclosure of which information would violate the confidentiality requirements of state and/or federal law, all pursuant to 25 Oklahoma statute, section 307B, 1, 2, and 7.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second to move to executive session. Roll call vote, please.
Celine,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
Clag,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
All I'm doing is scrolling up.
Okay, only items in agenda number 11 were discussed in executive session and no votes were taken. This shall constitute the executive session minutes. Item 12 is to vote on action as set out on the personnel reports.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the personnel reports.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the personnel reports. Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 13 is a recommendation, consideration, and action upon the support personnel handbook for 2023-2024.
I would recommend that we approve the support personnel handbook. I do have one additional change that I would like to ask the board to note that's in there. It's on page 390 of your board packet or page 11 of your support personnel handbook. At the bottom, the footnote of where we're in compliance with the statute on from 2018 on the $1,250 that it goes into support personnel salary. That year needs to be changed to 2023-2024. One of the things that I would like to make mention of is the salary schedule that we've provided for the support staff for this coming year will come with a step raise and $1 an hour for every support staff member. And that's the work that the state legislature has done, along with the work that Dr. Chappell has done with us trying to be in a good financial position, has allowed us to try to address some of the needs that we know we have with our support staff. And we're working with the GACT as well for similar work with them on for our certified staff as well. And with the money that came from the state and their record investment in education, we want to make sure that we take care of our folks. And so that's why I would ask you to approve this as presented with the one change.
Mr. President, I'm happy to make a motion to approve the support personnel handbook for 2023-2024 with the update to 2023-2024 on page 11 of the handbook.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the support personnel handbook for 2023-2024 with the amended update on page 390 in your packet, page 11 in the handbook, to change the year from 2023 to 2024. Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item 14 is the recommendation, consideration, and action to accept any resignations offered since the posting of this agenda.
We have none.
Item 15 is the discussion and possible action on new business not known about or could not have been reasonably foreseen at the time of the agenda posting.
We have none.
Item 16 is adjournment.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. Roll call vote, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.
All right.
Boom.